Hi, I'm John Cunningham. I'm a research editor at Encyclopedia Britannica. And one of the many things that I do as part of my job is I handle a lot of our coverage of popular music. I've written Britannica's articles on Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Adele, One Direction. And one of the threads that I notice that runs through a lot of these articles as I work on them is the vast influence that the internet has had on shaping the pop landscape in the 21st century. I think one really good example of that is Justin Bieber, in fact. Now, in many ways, it's a very conventional story of how he became discovered. Basically, the idea of the record industry noticing this kid and making him a big star. But how he was discovered, I think, is the kind of unusual thing, is that instead of flying across the country and auditioning for the Mickey Mouse Club or for Star Search, Justin Bieber simply stayed at home in Ontario, Canada, and put up some YouTube videos of him just playing the guitar and singing. Now, it may be serendipitous that a well-connected talent agent was one of the people that discovered these videos. But I think that the very fact that they were out there and available to be discovered kind of shows that everyone is kind of theoretically accessible. Anybody could be discovered at any given time. Now, another person that I think has used the internet to her unique advantage is Nicki Minaj. She's another new pop star. She's this larger-than-life, very flamboyant singer and rapper. A lot of people know her as a judge on American Idol. Now, Nicki Minaj, before she released her major label debut in 2010, she put out 3 mixtapes, which in the hip-hop community at least are kind of these unofficial underground recordings. Now, mixtapes themselves are not exactly a new thing. They've basically been going on since the advent of hip-hop in the 70s. Originally, they were a way for DJs to kind of show off their mixing skills by distributing cassette tapes on street corners and specialty record shops, basically bootlegs. Now, over time, rappers kind of wanted a piece of that and kind of used mixtapes in a similar way to kind of build their reputation, develop their style, and in a way that was kind of more low stakes. They could kind of do it on their own terms without record companies being involved. Now, as you might imagine, in the 21st century, the great thing about mixtapes is that they no longer had to be distributed on street corners. They could simply be put online for free. These were no longer tapes exactly, but MP3s. And Nicki Minaj, I think, used that to her advantage in a big way, because part of her whole persona as a singer and rapper is this personality that she has all these different styles and different voices, and a lot of listeners could become familiar with her persona before a record company had the chance to pigeonhole her. Now, the third person that I want to talk about is Psy, the Korean rapper. A lot of people know him because of his big hit song Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style set a YouTube record in 2012 for the most views of all time. I think it surpassed 1 billion views by the end of that year. Now, Psy was already a pretty big star in Korea. Not the top of the heap, but he definitely had a reputation. But very few people knew him outside of Korea. It was really the video for Gangnam Style. It went viral. People started sharing it and linking to it on Twitter and Facebook, and had all these comments on YouTube. And it basically became an international phenomenon with very little involvement in the international record industry. So I think Gangnam Style and Psy is a great example of how consumers are really driving a lot of the popularity of pop music. It's no longer this top-down record industry to the listener, but consumers are having an effect. They're making international songs popular. They're making novelty songs popular, instrumentals. A lot of this stuff is now part of the fabric of popular music in the 21st century. So when I handle these kinds of articles for Britannica, what I'm interested in is not just in the person's biography or what they sound like, but also what kind of role they play culturally. And that is really what makes a lot of these artists very interesting.